Hello, my dear students. Welcome to the next class of Marxism. Today we are going to study about Louis Althusser and his concepts like ideological state apparatus and interpellation. Last class we have studied about ideology, the tenets of ideology. So keep in mind the tenets of ideology and let's get started. Let's study about ideological state apparatus and interpellation. Louis Althusser was born in 1918. He was a French philosopher. He was one of the most influential Marxist philosophers of the 20th century. He offers a renewal of Marxist thought. His theory of ideology that he developed has been broadly deployed in the social science and in the stream of humanities. And his theory provided a foundation for post-Marxist philosophy. And his project was also served as an inspiration for analytic Marxism, critical realism, and philosophy of language. These are all the basic informations that you need to know about Althusser. And his work still continues to inform the research programs of literary studies, political philosophy, history, economics, and sociology. His concepts we are going to deal with his major concepts now: interpellation, ideological state apparatus. These concepts are also being increasingly employed by philosophers, theorists, activists. And now let's move into the ideological state apparatus. Last class we have discussed about ideology. That ideology enables the dominant class to reinforce power over the marginalized class. It is a system of beliefs. It naturalizes the unequal power relations in the society, and oppressed people accept it as natural, isn't it? We have studied what is ideology. Althusser, the French thinker, argued that ideology is circulated in the society. Ideology is circulated through certain structures in society, and he termed those structures, that ideology is circulated through certain structures in society, and he termed it as ideological state apparatuses, ISAs. The term developed by Marxist theorist Louis Althusser in his essay Ideology and Ideological State Apparatuses. And he used the term to denote particular structures. And what are these structures are, or what are these institutions are? Through education, the churches, that means religious institutions, family, media, trade unions. These are ideological state apparatuses, particular structures or institutions in the society. And these institutions are acting like outside the control of the state. But it serves as to transmit the values of the state, or the rules of the state are being followed by the people through ideological state apparatuses also. And we will go into the details now. He proposed that the state imposes an ideology through the threat of violence, isn't it? Why do we always follow rules on the road? Because we are afraid of the law. എല്ലാവർക്കും തോന്നിയ പോലെ വണ്ടി ഓടിക്കാൻ പറ്റുമോ? പറ്റില്ല. There are rules എന്തിനാണ്? എല്ലാവരുടെയും സുരക്ഷയ്ക്ക് വേണ്ടിയിട്ടാണ് റൂൾസ് ഉള്ളത്, അല്ലേ? അപ്പോൾ ഒരാൾ റൂള് ഫോളോ ചെയ്യണം. നമ്മൾ എന്തുകൊണ്ടാണ് എല്ലാവരും റൂള് ഫോളോ ചെയ്യുന്നത്? നമുക്ക് പേടിയാണ്. ഫൈൻ അടയ്ക്കേണ്ടി വരുന്നത് മാത്രമല്ല, വി ആർ ഓൾസോ അഫ്രെയ്ഡ് ഓഫ് ദ റൂൾസ് അല്ലേ? ആ ഒരു അങ്ങനത്തെ സ്ട്രിക്റ്റ് ആക്ഷൻസ് നമ്മുടെ പോലീസും ലോയും ഒക്കെ എടുക്കുന്ന കാരണം എല്ലാവരും ആ ഒരു റൂൾ ഫോളോ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ട്രൈ ചെയ്യാറുണ്ട്. റൂൾസ് ആർ ആക്ച്വലി ഗുഡ് ഫോർ ദ സൊസൈറ്റി ഓൺലി, ബട്ട് സർട്ടൻ തിങ്സ് വി ആർ ഡൂയിങ് ഇറ്റ് ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ദ ഫിയർ ഓർ ബിക്കോസ് ഓഫ് ദ ത്രെറ്റ്. അങ്ങനെ നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ പേടിച്ചിട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യങ്ങളുണ്ട്. ആൻഡ് Althusser named it as repressive state apparatuses. ഇപ്പം നമ്മുടെ പോലീസ് ആയിക്കൊള്ളട്ടെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ലോ, ഇതൊക്കെ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മിലിറ്ററി, ഇതൊക്കെ റിപ്രസീവ് സ്റ്റേറ്റ് അപ്പാരറ്റസസ് ആണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ആംഡ് ഫോഴ്സ് പോലീസ് and is allotted a major role in securing compliance within developed capitalist societies. Althusser proposed that, I told you, state imposes ideology through threat of violence also. Like ideology is imposed by offering a threat of violence through police force, through army or through law. And here people accept a particular ideology because of the fear, because they are afraid. I told you the example of police and how the people obey the police force, obey the rules, otherwise people will get into the trouble, isn't it? And the state have found that it is more effective to impose ideology by getting the people to accept it, by getting the consent of the people. How it is possible? Let's see. Ideological state apparatuses include certain institutions and structures. I told you. What are those structures? Family, religion, media, education system, and they convince the people of certain ideology. How do they do that? They present it before the people as a desirable idea, as a good idea to follow. For example, നമ്മൾ നഴ്സറി കുട്ടികളുടെ ടെക്സ്റ്റ് ബുക്കിലൊക്കെ നല്ല പിക്ചേഴ്സൊക്കെ ആയിട്ട് നല്ല ഭംഗിയിൽ ചില കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ നമുക്ക് കാണാൻ പറ്റും. ഫാദർ, മദർ, ബ്രദർ, സിസ്റ്റർ. Mother in the kitchen, father reading the newspaper, brother is playing outside, and girl inside the house, she is cleaning the house. ഈ ഒരു പിക്ചറാണ് ഓരോ ആൾക്കാരെയും, വീട്ടിലുള്ള ഓരോരുത്തരെയും ഐഡൻറ്റിഫൈ ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് ബുക്കിൽ കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ ബുക്ക് വായിക്കുന്ന കുട്ടിക്ക് കിട്ടുന്ന ഐഡിയ എന്താണ്? മദർ ഇസ് സപ്പോസ് ടു ബി ഇൻ ദ കിച്ചൺ, father is supposed to work for the family, brother is supposed to play outside the house, and sister is to do all the things, all the relatable duties of her in the home. ഈ ഒരു ഐഡിയ കുട്ടിയിലോട്ട് കിട്ടുന്നത് അതൊരു ഡിസൈറബിൾ ഐഡിയ ആയിട്ടാണ് വരുന്നത്. അത് കുട്ടീനെ ആരെങ്കിലും ഒരു വയലൻറ്റ് മോഡിൽ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ഫിയർഫുൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു അറ്റ്മോസ്ഫിയറിൽ കുട്ടി അത് പഠിച്ചു പോകുന്നതല്ല. കുട്ടി അതിലോട്ട് തന്നെ അട്രാക്റ്റഡ് ആയി പോവുകയാണ്. ദിസ് ഈസ് ഹൗ ദ സൊസൈറ്റി ഷുഡ് വർക്ക്, ദിസ് ഈസ് ഹൗ എ ഫാമിലി ഷുഡ് ബി എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഐഡിയ കുട്ടിയുടെ മനസ്സിലോട്ട് തന്നെ താനെ കയറുകയാണ്, ഓട്ടോമാറ്റിക്കലി കയറുകയാണ്. ദെൻ he will subject to this idea. Later on in his life, he will follow only this idea. He or she, the child will follow only this idea. The child accepts these notions of the society. Mother should be like this, father should be like this, isn't it? It is inculcated into the child when he or she is in their early age. At least in 4 or 5 years old, this idea, this notion is inculcated into the child. I can give you another example of serials. നമ്മൾ സീരിയലുകളിലൊക്കെ എന്താ കാണുന്നത്? ഇപ്പോൾ സിനിമയിലൊക്കെ കുറച്ച് വ്യത്യാസം വരുന്നുണ്ട്. സീരിയലുകളിലൊക്കെ നമ്മൾ സ്ഥിരം കാണുന്നത് എന്താണ്? ഹസ്ബൻഡ്, വൈഫ്, അവരുടെ മക്കൾ, അവർ ഭയങ്കര ഒത്തൊരുമയോടുകൂടി അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വഴക്ക്, വാട്ട് എവർ ഇറ്റ് ഈസ്, നമ്മൾ അതിൻ്റെ പിന്നാലെ പോകുന്നില്ല. അവർ ഓരോ രീതിയിൽ പോകുന്നു. അമ്മ വീട്ടിലെല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും ചെയ്യുന്നു, അച്ഛൻ പുറത്ത് പോയിട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. ഇപ്പോൾ അമ്മയ്ക്കും ജോലി ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ തന്നെ അമ്മ വീട്ടിൽ വന്നിട്ട് എല്ലാ ജോലികളും ചെയ്യുന്നു. അമ്മ എല്ലാം സാക്രിഫൈസ് ചെയ്യുന്നു. അമ്മ 24 hours ഫാമിലിക്ക് വേണ്ടി പണിയെടുക്കുന്നു എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഐഡിയ സീരിയലുകളിൽ നിന്ന് കിട്ടുന്നുണ്ട്. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വിമൻ ആർ സപ്പോസ് ടു സാക്രിഫൈസ് എവറിത്തിങ് ഫോർ ദെയർ ലൈഫ്, എവറിത്തിങ് എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലാണ് സീരിയലുകളിൽ നിന്ന് വരുന്ന ഒരു മെസ്സേജ് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. And it suggests that best arrangement of the relationships in a family is that it consists of a man, a woman and children, especially a boy and a girl. ഒരു ആൺകുട്ടിയും ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടിയാണെങ്കിൽ പൂർത്തിയായി. രണ്ട് ഗേൾസ് ആണെങ്കിലും not good, രണ്ട് ബോയ്സ് ആണെങ്കിലും it is okay എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ, if it is a girl and a boy it is a perfect family എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിലാണ് ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള എന്താ പറയുക, ഇങ്ങനെയുള്ള സീരിയലുകൾ കൂടി നമ്മുടെ മുന്നിലേക്ക് പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. And this is the idea of heterosexuality as normal that is suggested to us. ഹെട്രോസെക്ഷുവാലിറ്റി ആണ് നോർമലായിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇങ്ങനെ അച്ഛൻ, അമ്മ, മക്കൾ, ഒരു ആൺകുട്ടി ഒരു പെൺകുട്ടി എന്നുള്ള ഒരു രീതിയിൽ ഇതാണ് ഏറ്റവും നോർമലായിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു സംഭവം. അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ദിസ് ഇസ് ദ ഡിസൈറബിൾ തിങ് എന്നുള്ളൊരു ഐഡിയ നമ്മുടെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് താനെ വരികയാണ് അല്ലേ. ആൻഡ് ഈ ഒരു കാര്യം നമ്മൾ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് വരണമെങ്കിൽ നമ്മൾ ഈ ഒരു ഐഡിയോളജിയാണ് ഈ സീരിയലുകൾ കൂടിയെല്ലാം നമ്മളിലേക്ക് വരുന്നത്. ഈ ഐഡിയ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ വേറൊരു ഐഡിയ, ഇതിപ്പോൾ ഒരു വളരെ കോമൺ ആയിട്ടുള്ളൊരു എക്സാമ്പിൾ ആയതുകൊണ്ടാണ് മിസ് പറയുന്നത്. And it also rejects the possibility of a homosexual family as a family. ഇങ്ങനെ ഹെട്രോസെക്ഷുവാലിറ്റീനെ മാത്രം പ്രൊമോട്ട് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ അവിടെ ഹോമോസെക്ഷുവാലിറ്റീനെ അബ്നോർമലായിട്ടാണ് അണ്ടർലൈൻ ചിത്രീകരിക്കുന്നത്, isn't it? By circulating images of a happy heterosexual family, these media representations like serials or sometimes movies suggest that only a heterosexual family is a real family. ശരിക്കും നമുക്ക് സമ്മതിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്നില്ല, ഇത് ഹോമോസെക്ഷൽ ഫാമിലി എന്ന് നമുക്ക് ആക്സെപ്റ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്ത ഒരുപാട് ആൾക്കാർ ഇനിയുമുണ്ട് സമൂഹത്തിൽ അല്ലേ. So if we say like this, ideology is material because this ideology is embedded in, works through material institutions. Ideology is embedded and works through family, which is a material institution or the schooling system. And the ideology constructs the individual as a subject because the individual accepts it as reality, accept it, understand it and live within that ideology. The ideology, it is the context in which we lead our lives. Daily life, we can feel it. In our house, we can feel it. In our school system, we can feel it. In our books, we can see it. And hence, ideology is a material reality. The ideology of the heterosexual family provides particular roles for individuals. What are the roles? Roles are gendered here. That male as the head of the family, the prime decisions should be taken by male. They shouldn't come and cook or they shouldn't be the caretaker, like that. And the female as the primary caregiver who is in charge of kitchen and who has to do all the things in a house, and children as dependents. But indeed, the heterosexual family begins with the assumption that males and females, father, mother, take it in mind like that, will live together for the purposes of raising children. And it builds a family, and through family, societies are constructed. An ideology is created in the society like this. Like it also has proposing, underlying this ideology is also proposing that heterosexual family is normal because it would be happy then, a man and a woman, it makes the perfect combination, it would be happy then. And ideology suggests that we can play our roles. Male can play his own role, female can play his own role, her own role, and thus it makes it happy or happy family. representing the family and family roles as ideal, isn't it? An ideology of the heterosexual family constructs us as individual, and we also begin to play these roles later in our life. Everybody accept these roles and everybody give consent to accept it, and they believe these things, they understand these things, and they live in this ideology. And we believe that if males and females within a family play their proper roles, their proper particular roles in a family, then that family would be happy. It would be ideal. And it is important to see here that we are not aware of the situation that we are actually playing a role. We are actually playing a role. We really assume in our life that it is natural to be the father, it is natural for about his primary status, or it is natural to be the mother. It is a natural thing that mother should cook for all, mother should sacrifice her dreams, mother should work 24 hours. We assume that it is natural, but at no point that we are alert to the fact that these roles are only invented by the society so that the inferior sex, the so-called women, the marginalized women, will do all the housework and caring. The society has created roles. We accept the role as natural. Why? Because we became subjects within the ideology. We became subjects within the ideology. That is why we accept this role as natural. The primary status of man to be the head of the family, we accepted it as natural because we became subject to that ideology. The status of mother to be in the kitchen or to sacrifice her dreams for the family, we accepted it as natural because we have become the subject within the ideology. But we think that we have voluntarily chosen the role and we are free and it is natural. This is how ideology works. Ideology naturalizes our constructed roles. Keep in mind, ideology works like this. It naturalizes the constructed roles of the society. This construction of subjects through ideology is what Althusser termed interpellation. People are interpellated. So interpellation, it's the process of consenting to ideology. People consent to the ideology, people give their consent to accept it. It is the process of consenting to ideology. People accept that ideology, but they are not aware of it, that they are subject to an ideology. It makes the people, the person or the subject to believe that he or she is an independent being and it is not a subject and it is not controlled by outside forces. He or she is taking the decisions alone. But in other words, ideology interpellates the individual as a subject. Ideology makes him or believe that he or she is a free agent without the control of other forces. Ideology makes the people to believe that. Interpellation is the process of consenting to ideology. It is the process. Okay, it is the process of consenting to ideology. Ideology is a set of beliefs. Interpellation is the process of consenting to ideology. Okay, and it consists of two stages. Ideology precedes the individual and individual is inserted into the ideological scheme. Ideology precedes the individual. There is ideology. An individual, when he or she is born, is inserted into that ideological scheme. For example, when a girl child is born, from the childhood itself, she's getting the idea that she needs to be in the kitchen. She has to obey, or she must not fight with the boys. Some ideas like that. Do not fight with boys. The woman is interpolated as girl child, as daughter, as mother, as wife, the roles of the wife to take care or to do all the responsibilities in the kitchen. She's interpolated. And she is made to believe that it is her natural roles, isn't it? But in fact, she is nurtured into these roles. She is unaware of that. She is nurtured into these roles. She accepts that role as natural. She accepts it voluntarily. She says, or she accepts it as a natural thing to be like that, to behave like that. She is carefully nurtured into these roles. Like, she made to adopt certain postures, the way she walks, the way she sits. She always need to look beautiful. She should maintain a figure, and she should perform certain functions in order to be a woman. If she is treated to be like a woman, she has to perform certain functions. The gender role she need to perform, and she has to behave in certain ways, and it is made believe that it is natural. But ideology, we become subjects to the ideology. Society created roles. There is a predetermined set of roles out of which the individual automatically chooses a few, all the while assuming that he or she has freely chosen them. Certain things are given to her and it is like she is choosing it. But it is not like that. Only these things are given to her and she is choosing one among from that. The most significant feature of ideology is that it is invisible. It pervades our lives. So real that we do not notice it exists, but it is there as the truth. We are often blind to everyday routine, and we are all often blind to everyday things that are happening around us. Ideology is the lived reality, and its features have become so familiar to us now. So children, I hope you have understood what is ideological state apparatus and interpolation. That's it for today's class, and we'll continue in the next class. Happy learning. Thank you.